What is going on, guys? Chris here from Signs of Life. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to do sort of a generative tutorial inspired by my workflow over on the OXI ONE on my modular rig. You know, the OXI ONE, I have the Mark 1, which has 4 sequencers on board. The OXI ONE Mark 2 has 8 sequencers. And you can imagine in something like modular, having that many sequencers at your disposal is actually quite handy. Like, you really need a lot of sequencers because you're doing sequence work in a modular environment. But here in the DAW, you can actually do the same thing with something like Stepic and just using your DAW and some synths. And so I thought I would do a tutorial kind of inspired by my workflow over on the OXI ONE in the modular world. So anyway, that's the game plan. I'm going to show you how to use sequencers with different timing, separating them out by octave range, by timbre. So I've already got kind of something set up. So let's go ahead and listen to this demo, if you will, and then we'll recreate it from scratch. Anyway, thanks for being here, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you can see here that I've got quite a track lit up already. And we got sequence 1 here, and this is instance of Stepic running in 16th notes. So that's cool. And this is driving a vital patch, good old vital. Very simple, right? The old standby. And so I'm gonna solo this track so you can hear it. That's our 16th notes, all right? Some nice variation there. Now next to that is another instance of Stepic, and this is running in 8th notes. And it's also worth noting that I've got this a whole octave apart. So you guys can see the span here, and the span is nice and spread out. There's lots of variation here, right? We're gonna recreate this in this video. So then on sequence 3, you can see this is set to quarter notes. And it's kind of randomized, like there's a lot of variation happening here. I'm using lane clock, you know, different play order modes. And then of course a nice bass from Ancient Technology 4, holding it down, right? So we're gonna recreate this session, and I'm gonna show you how I got here, and then how you can take these techniques that are, again, inspired by my OXI ONE, and add them to your own productions. Anyway, thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, first of all, we're gonna start here on sequence 1, and we're gonna make this 16th notes. Now, I'm playing in 86 beats per minute, and I'm playing an F minor here. So let's go ahead and make this F3, okay? And I'm gonna put this in natural minor. Now, what I'm gonna do is just enter a simple sequence here. Nothing crazy, right? And then I can go ahead and do some velocity variation, because my patch has velocity sensitivity here. And maybe we'll switch the play order mode to shuffle. You can also right click on all these middle dice. That's kind of doing the same thing, but that changes the ratios here. So let's just put it in shuffle order. That's cool. We can do a couple different ratios here with the octaves. And, do like 2 of them as +2s, and then 3 of them as +1s, and then change the play order to shuffle order. Again, the yellow dice now, make sure that you play through all of the options before going on and starting over again. So it's a nice randomizer, and it's gonna play all of the notes here once and then start over. And we can also change this to shuffle order as well, or just leave it in forwards mode, whatever you feel like doing, because this octave range is gonna give us a little variation here on this sequence. So let's go ahead and just play this. Now I like that, that's nice. Let's open up our vital patch here. As you can see, it's a very simple vital patch. Nothing crazy. The velocity is set to the filter over here, and it's also set to this squeeze amount. So the squeeze is almost giving us like a, sine/saw kind of effect, rounded sine they call it, So that's cool. I like that. The envelope here is set to 1 second. The second envelope is set to a 1/2 second. That envelope 2 is tied to the filter here. as envelope 2. And LFO1 is set to sync mode 4/1, and it is just kind of giving it the classic up and down, pattern here. So I like that. Now, if that was just on the modular rig, that's cool. Like I'm happy with that. As you can see, I put some delay and some reverb on it. Now the second one, I put a little more emphasis in the higher end. So I've added a wavetable and a sawtooth here. And they're both, again, going through filter 1 here. And you can actually change the LFO to something different. So as sequence 1's LFO peaks, if you double the length of the second LFO, it's going to be opposite. They're always going to be shifting positions, which could be very interesting. So if this one is twice as slow, then it means that it's going to, do it at a different rate. You could also do something like, 2/1 or something, so it's just kind of quickly going up and down. So they're always out of phase, if you will. So that's cool. You can also delay the LFO. There's a bunch of stuff you could do, right? That's very modular inspired. The decay here is around the same. This is a 1 second decay. I didn't put a second envelope here. I could probably do that. So let's go ahead and put a nice short half-second envelope here and make sure we lower down its amount. Very good. Okay, now like I said in the intro, this one is gonna be at F2. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go natural minor here, and we're gonna go F2, and we're gonna go 1/8 note, all right? The other thing we're gonna do is we're going to do some stuff with lane clock here. Lane clock is a really great way to get some extra timing in your pattern and variation, right? So let's go ahead and say, all right, we're gonna turn off some of these steps here, okay? And maybe even tie some of them together. And with the lane clock in the octave range, we're gonna say on note trigger, which means this is not gonna advance until we get a trigger, okay? So let's go ahead and add some octaves here. And again, this is a whole octave below the other sequence, which is really cool. We'll do some velocity variation here and put the play order mode in, say shuffle order. And maybe we'll do some kind of sequence here, but the play order mode is in drift pendulum. So now it's gonna kind of go back and forth and then back and forth like this. You guys remember from the Stepic video, all right? So now I've got some reverb and delay in here. Let's go ahead and turn on this one just independently so you guys can hear it at the start. So that's what this sounds like. As you can see, there's times where we're kind of giving ourselves gaps. And now listen to what it sounds like with the first one. Again, very OXI ONE inspired, right? Because both sequencers are starting at the same time. Check this out. Oh yeah. So you can hear like with the span, like, oh my God. Yeah, that's the business right there. Love it, absolutely love it. You can see that LFO open up, right? Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Add some more reverb there. Oh yeah, nice. Because sometimes you get some of those low notes right there, right? And it's just enough to separate out the two sequences. So your mind says, ah, that's two sequences. Now you can do stuff like, pan one left, pan one right, put one in auto pan and do, back and forth. There's all kinds of variations. And I'm just trying to open your mind up to the possibilities here. So let's go to sequence 3 now, all right? Now I want you to take a close look at the vital patch because this one has a longer decay here, all right? This has about a second and a half envelope here. This envelope is around 2 seconds, okay? And that's covering the filter. This filter is very slow. All right, I'm gonna put an LFO here in sync mode here. And let's go say 8/1. This will be the longest LFO, okay? And so this one is a sawtooth and one of those 40K wavetables. And the position of this LFO is modulating, the position of envelope 1 is modulating the position of this wavetable frame. Okay, that's interesting. You could also do like a squeeze here or something with the second envelope. Like, you know, there's just all kinds of variations. Like, I'm totally red pilled on modular, like just modulation forever, right? Okay, cool. That's great. That'll provide us enough variation here. And this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in F3, okay? And this one's gonna be rather slow. So this one's kind of gonna be our unpredictable sequence. Remember, we have a 16th note sequence, an 8th note sequence, and this one, let's put in quarter notes, okay? We'll go natural minor here. We'll turn off quite a bit, and maybe we'll put some in the dice mode. That would be cool. We can tie some with a right click here. That's cool. Let's turn on some of these, okay? And so this is gonna be really interesting because we never really know what we're gonna get with this one, all right? And with the lane clock, of course, we can do note trigger. We could also do every third step if we want. Let's do some of these as +2, there we go. Play order mode could be something like random skip. That's cool. Let's do some velocity work. Let's do drift pendulum here. So this one is kind of our wild card, right? The wild card is like, oh, wow, that's a really interesting sound, okay? I've got tons of reverb on it. I've got some delay on it. Let's go ahead and fire this up, and we'll fire all three together as if I was pressing play on my OXI ONE, and this is what it would sound like. Yes, I like that. Let's solo this last one. Oh yeah. Now this one, it might even be fun to do something like a random and putting it in freeze mode and putting it in sample and hold and using that as the attack value. So sometimes that attack is fast and then sometimes it's really slow. So it kind of fades in. Oh, I like that. Oh yeah, that's cool. That is cool. And now let's go ahead and add that bass here. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's look at our span now. We can even turn up the bass. Oh yeah. That's just nasty. I love it. So the whole goal here was to kind of show you guys what's possible. Because I think you see now, like, oh, I could use multiple instances of Stepic. They're all firing off at the same time. But the timing is different, the timbre is different, the octave range is different, and that gives you a wider perspective. And in turn, you're using more of the frequency spectrum and you're opening up the possibility to tell your story where anything can happen. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you want more tutorials like this, I am on Patreon. This channel, I mean, I really go off, but on Patreon, it's like the next level. So check it out. The link is down below in the description. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of instruction over there. Lots of great presets. There's Stepic packs, there's Vital presets, you name it, it's on Patreon. Anyway, it's been my pleasure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love hearing from you. And yeah, happy sequencing. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, I'll be back again soon with more videos just like this one. So in the meantime, take good care. And as always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. I am Chris from Signs of Life. I'll see you guys in the next video.